This video is the final update and reveal of my HobbyLink International 2022 helicopter group build entry, the Minicraft 1-48 UH-60 Marine 1. Picking up where I left off in the last video. Okay, still not happy with that seam, so put some putty on there. Here's those antenna, so those three there, so that's what I recreated here. I did these engine pieces and the tail rotor in the flat black, and then everything else, and then these things up here, and the Spastics base coat. I did those leading edges of the rotors with the magnesium, and then there's the leading edges of the tail rotor. And I just used the Spastics on these chrome parts. And then I brushed the Spastics on to highlight that piece. Thinned the Model Master dark green out of the original bottle into here. Thinned it 2-to-1. And then did these two pieces for the rotor, main rotor. So there's those rotor parts, the main rotor. I glued those two pieces together. And then that piece in the center of the tail rotor, and then there's the pieces that were chromed. Here's the first side masked for the top. All right, there's the white primer. So there's the top in white. I just pulled all the tape off. And then here's those other pieces. While I'm waiting now for the white to dry, I started working on the main rotor. Got that constructed now and just sitting on there. I did that piece that goes on top after I included it with the white, so it has a base coat of gloss white. Then I hit it with this red metal flake to give it a little translucence or something. I had to go back, and when I put these pieces on, just set them on there and test fit them, they were still a little duller, so I went back and hit these pieces, but I have all of the other sub-assemblies, so to speak, complete. I also hit the edges of those two openings with a little bit of flat black, just to make sure there's no white showing through when I do finally put those on. I hit the top of that with steel. Continuing the masking of the white, so I think I have it down this side. And now I'm going up and around. You can see all the taping on the top is done. So I'm just finishing up these final external pieces. I put that weather radar, I put that on last night, a little bit of sanding around that. I've placed these spares box parts for antenna. That's actually just a piece of photo etch frame. Thick super glue, just touched a drop and then set those on the drop. I think they're kind of straight enough, I hope. I'm trying to mimic that. I just finished putting the dark green on, and it's still drying a little bit, but I think those came out pretty good. And the flat black, I just did those areas behind the engines. I just gave it a coat of the Pledge floor wax. And I also did the centers of the rotors. Okay, here comes the fun part. I don't know about you, but I always love unmasking, the final unmasking. So here we go, and fingers crossed that everything came out okay. I do have to do some touch up on the white. Actually, I'm going to bring this green up to the top there. I want to get a nice crisp, a much crisper line on each side here, and then same thing on this side. I'll bring it up to the top there. I'm happy with the way the antenna came out. The top looks good. This looks good around here. I'm actually happy with the way these this green came out, these green tinted windows. It's kind of cool. So then this goes on here. All right, now it's looking like a helicopter. And then this, somehow, for some reason, this hole is way too big for that peg, so I'm just gonna fill that with some sticky tack and stick this in there. But for now, yeah, that looks pretty cool. I took the green and went along and touched up, masked and then touched up that line. And then I touched up on this side as well. And then as you can see, I have to go back with the white here and there. There's the insignia white. So now I'm pretty happy with that line. So now I'll hit that with the clear coat again. Now I'll start doing all the details. It's a exhaust or something. I went with the gunship gray in there, and then you can see I did the black accents there and there. I think those are vents or something. I've done all the chrome, so see the edge of this is chrome. That was spastics. That was silver paint up there. And then on the bottom, you see that one down there. Did this on the landing gear as well as that. And now I will do the lights both on the bottom and top and on either side. I sprayed the gloss dark blue onto a card here so that I could do that blue light right there. So was going to do the red lights, and you know, with these old testers sometimes this will happen. But that thing sprung a leak when I went to spray it onto the card. So keeping it well away from my work area, but I actually dipped the brush in there and then brought it over here and did the, let's see if you can see that, the light on the top there, similar one underneath in the middle, and then that one on the side at the bottom. So I'm gonna toss that can out now. And now I'm putting these pieces in the engine. There's that chrome piece across the front. That is really difficult to get in there after the fact. So one down, another one to go, and then these black pieces go in the back there before I put that curved thing on there. All right, I got those curved tail at the end of the engine pieces on, and I think I told you before that it's missing a rib there, so I'm going to add that. I just used the styrene rod and made those rods there. Now I'll go back and touch that up. Put those black engine intake pieces in, and I touched up the white on those pieces back there. So you can see those engines are pretty much done. To attach this top piece, I so don't want to mess up this seam by touching it with glue or anything like that. So I think I'm just gonna attach it with sticky tack. And yeah, I'm happy with that seam now. So it you know, I just didn't want any glue or anything showing in between there. And it's on there tight. It's not going anywhere. And the wheels go on. I just wanted to throw it together, see what it looked like, and I'm really happy with it. Before I proceed to decals, I went to the spares box and got a couple of different sizes of white stripe decal, because it does have this deep stripe, if you can see, that runs underneath there. And the kit does not provide that, and that's why I strove so hard to get a nice straight line there. So I'll use that decal to go underneath there. And then the rest should, go on fairly straightforward. So I've got all my decaling stuff ready to go, but I just wanted to throw it together and see how it looked, and I'm pretty happy with it. So I started decaling with the stripes on the weather radome. All right, so what I want to do is, lay those lines down along there. And I think what I'm going to do is put it up there and let the carrier film be the separation. And hopefully that'll give me, just enough separation there. Okay, one side down. I think that came out okay. And when you look at it from the side, it's straight. And that's the thing is, if you look at it this way, sometimes it looks crooked, but that's because of the curve of the helicopter itself. So I've been trying to look straight at it. and try to get that straight. Okay, so there's the other side. It's a little crooked here and there, but you know, I think it's better than without it, to be honest with you. So there's the first set of stripes down the side. It looks like the S in States is at that bend right there. So I think I'm gonna pre-cut that, just this side of the S. All right, so I'm taking this video more because sometimes when I look at it through video, you can see if it's straighter, but I think that's okay. So there's one side done. I hit it with the salva set, so that flag's still a little wrinkly, and the presidential emblem, but those that bottom stripe is dried now, and you can see that salva set works great. It just sucks, you know, sucks everything right down. And then on this side, it looks like right at the A in America. That's what I'll do on this side then. All right, there's the other side. Just have to let all that dry. Yeah, from the salva set, but yeah, love those Minicraft decals. And the last decals on the opposite side of the tail wing. So just letting all that dry. And I finished up with putting the windshield wipers on. Okay, so another model done, sitting on the shelf. There she is. So that is my entry into the HobbyLink International 2022 helicopter group build. And that is the Minicraft 1-48 Marine One presidential helicopter. And it was a lot of fun to build, and it was kind of cool to go back to my roots of presidential aircraft, and my second Marine One. I'm looking forward to my next group build, one group build down, another one to go, and that's this, the Eggplane Group Build, and I'm going to be doing that P-51. And hope you enjoyed that. So as always, thanks for watching, and happy modeling.